What's up, YouTube? This is Too Raw for TV. All right, so I reported earlier today that Russell Westbrook, with just 6 days to spare until the start of the 2025-26 NBA season, has agreed to a minimum deal with the Sacramento Kings. So I'm assuming it's about $3 million and some change, 1 year deal, veteran minimum. That was the team that he was initially linked to back when free agency started back in July. But, apparently, nobody in the NBA seemed to have any interest in Russell Westbrook. Or, if not any interest, he's definitely been, you could argue, blackballed, which doesn't make any sense, considering that, in my opinion, Russell Westbrook is a top 10 all-time point guard, one of the most dynamic and dominant players in the history of the game. Did something back in 2016-17 that many of us thought would never be replicated, and that is have a player average a triple-double for a season. It seemed like the great Oscar Robertson, the only one to accomplish that. And then not only did Russell Westbrook do it, he did it again, then he did it again, and then he did it again. But everything fell downhill, or went downhill, I should say, when he signed with the Los Angeles Lakers. I knew when he signed with the Lakers, knowing the toxicity of playing with LeBron James, knowing how the media always looks for scapegoats, I knew he was walking into a trap. I knew it. I dreaded when the season started that they were going to systematically try to humiliate this man, because he had already been a target of the media before he signed with LeBron James and the Los Angeles Lakers. They try to use him or try to blame him as the reason why Kevin Durant left the Thunder. So you already had that sort of anti-media, you already had that anti-Russ media sentiment already going, and then it just blew up to an unknown, like previously unknown and just inconceivable level. And everybody can see it. Everybody can see it. Patrick Beverley, who of course played with the Los Angeles Lakers a couple of, 1 or 2 seasons in the LeBron era. I think he played with Russ, actually. I think Russ's last half year with the team. Anyway, recently, Patrick Beverley, I guess former NBA player, because I don't think he's in the league anymore, he was on a podcast, man. He was absolutely livid. He said it doesn't make any sense what's happened to Russell Westbrook. And he totally blamed the NBA and the Los Angeles Lakers for what happened to Russell Westbrook.
It's fucked up what happened to Russ, bro. On God. It's fucked up what happened to Russ. And Russ got a bad take because of that Lakers team. That's the truth, bro. That's the truth. You talk to T-Lou. T-Lou did interview with motherfuckers. I love Russ. Ever since Russ left the Lakers, bro, he's been on a minimum, bro. We've never seen this ever. We've never seen a player who's been the MVP, who's impacted the game, who they call him names and tell him he can't shoot, go to the playoffs, shoot 40% with the Clippers the very next year, right? Take a less demeaning role with the Lakers, take a less demeaning role with the Clippers. He's been a 6th man ever since he's left the Lakers. He's a starting point guard in the NBA. He's arguably one of the top 3 point guards to ever play the game. You tell me this man can't get on the team all because he's passionate, all because he stretches with the team every single fucking practice, all because if it's a team out and he's there all the fucking time, all because if you talk to anyone around the league, Russ is the best teammate I ever have. I talked to Paul George. Hey, Pat, you go love Russ. Austin Reeves, Russell Westbrook, one of the best teammates I ever had. What the fuck are we talking about? Why isn't this man on the team?
Now, mind you, this is coming from a guy who Russ should hate. This is coming from a guy who Russell Westbrook, if he was a nasty guy, he should hate. Because remember, it was Pat Bev. I think he was a member of the Rockets then. Someone could correct me if I'm wrong. It was years ago when Russell Westbrook was much younger. I think he did a dirty foul on Russ, and I think Russ injured his MCL or something like that. I think he was out for the rest of the playoffs or something. If he was a dirty guy, Russ would never have embraced him. Russ embraced him. He knew that's part of the game. You know what I'm saying? It was an accident. At least that's how it was interpreted. And, you know what I'm saying, Russ has always been loved by everybody, with the exception of a few, of a very few, right? Everybody loved. That's why I really took offense to Dave McMenamin, who came up with a report calling Russ an energy vampire. He sucks the life out of locker rooms. That's bullshit, man. But you got to consider the source. Dave McMenamin is a Clutch Sports flunky. You understand me? A lot of those dudes on ESPN are Clutch Sports flunkies. All because this dude is too insecure to get criticism. It's the same dude, LeBron James, that tried to get ESPN anchors fired because they criticized him. That's how sensitive this dude is. Russell Westbrook is a very passionate person. Russell Westbrook, no matter who you are, he's going to tell you how you feel about something. So because somebody got in their feelings about something that Russell Westbrook said, plus this guy on the left said something very disrespectful about Russell Westbrook and, to his wife, to a certain extent, from what I can understand, they had a falling out. Interestingly, since the falling out, all of a sudden, Russell Westbrook was until today blackballed from the NBA. But he ain't the first guy to be blackballed from the league, man. He's not. He's not the first guy to be blackballed from the NBA. They've done this countless times to some good dudes. Carmelo Anthony was blackballed from the NBA for bogus reasons. Call him he don't play defense. His game is antiquated. Nobody plays that style anymore. They did the same thing to Allen Iverson. Allen Iverson should have had a farewell tour in the NBA. The league blackballed him. Basically kicked him out of the league. And that's when David Stern was still in charge. Speaking of David Stern, even though in hindsight he looks so much better compared to the disastrous Adam Silver, let's not forget, David Stern basically ended the career of Mahmoud Abdul-Rauf, who should have been our generation's Steph Curry. All because they didn't like his politics. All because he wouldn't salute the flag. They ruined that man's career in his prime. Mahmoud Abdul-Rauf, if I'm not mistaken, I gotta think about this. I believe Mahmoud Abdul-Rauf led all point guards in scoring in the 95-96 season. If I'm not mistaken. Or he was second in scoring and from the point guard position. I got to look at that list again. But I know he averaged damn near 20 points a game. And I remember one game he lit up the Bulls for 38. But anyway, getting back into this, the point I'm trying to make, man, what they did to Russell Westbrook was an absolute disgrace. He went from being a superstar player, and it won't just the Lakers and Clutch. It was the mainstream media too. Like he said, it was calling him all types of names. Every turnover that he had was highlighted as if he had 20 turnovers. You know what I'm saying? Like, Magic Johnson averaged 3.9 turnovers per game for his career. And I'm not saying that Russell Westbrook is the player or passer Magic is, but when you play that type of style, that frenetic, fast-paced style, not the more slow, methodical, what's the word I'm looking for? Not the slower, more methodical, Well, I guess that's the way I'm trying to describe it. Not like a Chris Paul or fluid or style like a Chris Paul or John Stockton, where you have a low turnover rate. You know, when you're a guy like Russell Westbrook, when you're a guy like Magic Johnson, when you're a guy like Bob Cousy in the 50s, even though they didn't track turnovers back then, when you're a guy like Pete Maravich, you're going to accumulate a lot of turnovers. You're going to have some nights where you have 6 assists and 5 turnovers. But you're going to have some nights where you're going to have 13 assists and 4 turnovers. So it is what it is, man. But anyway, I'm glad that he's back in the league. And I'm glad that more and more people are picking up on, what they did to this guy, man. I remember Russell Westbrook would have a good game, and they would focus on anything negative. Well, he still shot under 50% from the floor. Well, he did still have 3 turnovers. That's kind of pushing it. I'm telling you, man, it's like anybody lesser than Russ, man, would have cracked. They would have cracked. Like they'd probably be out the league totally. They'd have been out the league. But it is what it is, man. Tell me what you guys think.